Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday meditation. On behalf of Akhilananda and I and Akhilananda, I offer my gratitude for your presence here today. My gratitude that your practice, our practice together, is building this Sangha, building the energy, making a difference in our lives. So for a moment, if you'll turn inward, please, look at the altar. Oh, Great Spirit, saints and sages of all times, of all places, O ye path makers of old, gurus of the holy Kriya lineage, O ye powers that be, all of ye beings of the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, Namaste. Most beloved ancestors of our bloodlines, our marriage lines, of our spiritual lines, Namaste. We call upon thee to sweep clear our paths, to help us to see that which we need to see, to help us to act in the way that we need, with wisdom and equanimity. Take 3 long, deep breaths, using the sipping breath as if through a straw. Feel your body relax. Feel your being relax. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Aim Sarasvataye Namaha. Brahmanandam Paramasukhatam Kevalam Yanamurti Bhavadidam Triguna Rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namame Chaitanyam Shastatam Shantam Nirakalam Nirandalam Nada Bindu Kamatitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dhyanamulam Guru Murti Pujamulam Guru Pada Mantramulam Guru Vakyam Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprabhanjaya Shantaya Viralambaya Tejase. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Once upon a yogi time, in the ever-present now, there was a family of farmers. The mother, the father, the grandfather, the grandmother, the great-grandfather, great-grandfather, great-grandmother were farmers. They grew beautiful food and vegetables on their land, and herbs. The grandmother and the great-grandmother and the mother, they all were trained, and they knew how to heal the people who came to them with their herbs. The family were meditators, and they knew how to scatter the difficulties and turn inward and meditate. But they had a little girl. For the first time in generations, they had a warrior in the family. Not warrior, but worrier. The time for planting would come. She'd wake up in the morning, family was having breakfast, and she'd say, I don't know. I think it's not a good day to plant. I think it's going to rain today. What if it doesn't rain? It might be too dry. The sun might be too hot. Mom would smile, Dad would smile, grandparents would smile. It'll be well, don't worry. They would go out to the fields to start to work, and she'd say, we don't have enough seeds. We have too much seeds. We didn't dig deep enough. We didn't dig far enough apart. Oh, the corn's not going to grow. The beetles are going to eat everything. And I know that farmer who lives next door to us, the one whose boy is in my school, you know him, George. I know that they are stealing at night from our fields. They don't like us. They're taking all of the energy. They don't like us. And on and on and on she went every day, every night, on and on. She'd start up. Mama would say, is that so? Papa would say, is that so? Grandma would say, is that so? Grandpa would say, is that so? I know it's true. And they don't like me. I know they don't like me, she said. Is that so? Is that so? But every day her anxiety grew more and more and more, and she wasn't learning from Mom and Pop. She wasn't learning from grandparents. She was getting more and more and more anxious. Well, it comes up to her 12th birthday, and they decide they have to do something. They must sit down and talk to her. They must train her differently. She must learn differently. So they sit down with her and they say, there's a problem with your mind. You know that, Chloe. Her name was Chloe. There's a problem with your mind. You're really not very happy. You're really, really not thinking well. You're really not doing well here. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, she says. Well, you're getting upset every day. Every day you're making your vision slower and slower and slower. Grandma says, you see the sun up there? That beautiful sun? See how big the sun is? Yes. But it dries the crops out. Yes. What if we didn't have the sun? Now she says, I want you to do something. I want you to take your thumb, take your glasses off. I want you to take your thumb. I want you to put it right over your eye. Okay? Keep your eye open, both eyes open. Put the thumb right over your eye. What happens? Well, Oh, I can't see. I can't see. Okay, now take that left eye, close it. Leave the right eye open. What do you see? My thumb. All right, take your other hand, put your other thumb up, close the right eye, keep the left eye open. What do you see? What do you see? My thumb. Oh, you mean you don't see that sun up there? You don't see that big blazing sun that's up in the sky? You see your thumb? Yes, I see my thumb. Well, your thumb, my dear, is like your opinions. It is blocking everything of goodness in your life. You must let go of being afraid. You must let go of all of your fears and your worries. Let them go. Because if you do not let them go, you are blocking them. You need to begin again. You know, there's a book, they tell her. It's called the Bhagavad Gita. And the Bhagavad Gita says that in order to have success in life, in order to build a good farm, in order for your crops to grow, in order for your life to be fulfilled, you must build confidence. Now, we began this morning with the Aham Brahmasmi, that wonderful mantra that says, I am the creator. I am the creative principle. But the sun that is so bright in the sky is now in the zodiacal sign of Leo. And that zodiacal sign of Leo says to us, oh, I will. I will. I am the creative principle. I am what I will. A little problem there, because all around us are people who are willing what they want in the world. Your next door neighbor, they will one thing. Your friend wills something else. Your family, your mother, your father, your siblings, your husband, your wife, they all have different things that they want to happen in the world, as do you. So what happens, my dear? What happens when you and I were wanting different things and they're not congruent? They don't merge, they clash up against each other. It becomes a conflict. What happens then? You become very insecure. The mind becomes very insecure and begins to blame the other person. Well, you know, this is happening. Now, Chloe, you see how you've done that, Mom and Dad say. Something happens with our crops and you're blaming the neighbors. Something happens with our crops and you're blaming the sun, you're blaming the moon, you're blaming the sky. But we must gain confidence in our own abilities. We must gain confidence in our ability to farm, to grow that which we intend to grow, and to pull the weeds out if we need to pull the weeds out. Now, what is to be done? What is her problem? The problem, Chloe's problem, is the same problem that you and I have. It's the same problem we all have. That is the need to build self-confidence, the need to recognize that whatever it is that you wish to draw into your life, it will come at the right time, the right place, and the right way. But also, we need to recognize that all of the actions of the mind, all of the actions of the body, the actions of the mind, your thinking, the actions of the mouth, your speaking, the actions of your body, your physical actions, all of these things have an effect. All of these things build energy fields. So If I look at my next door neighbor and I say, oh, that person is mean, they're cruel, they don't like me, I'm building up a sense of insecurity within myself. Chloe was building up an insecurity within herself. You are building up insecurity within yourself. That which you feed, that which you nourish, is that which grows. You don't want to work, you don't want to nourish that, my love. You don't want to nourish that, my beloved. You don't want to nourish that confinement, that sense of insecurity. And so, what do you do? Well, I have confidence. I must have confidence that my neighbor is good, that my friend is good. I must realize, what is the problem? What is the problem? Why am I reacting with such fear? Oftentimes we become very angry and fear-filled and anxious because we think the other person doesn't like us. We become very critical of their behavior. And then after time, examining thoughts, we come to find, what is the problem? Well, the problem is I want their approval. And I think that the only way that I will get their approval, the only way I will know that they approve of me, is if they're doing things exactly the way I want them to. If they're following me, if they're agreeing with me. Natty. Let go of that thought. It's not an accurate thought. It's not a thought that's vivified or full or for you to have. You need to gain the assurance that there is an order to the universe. I can't harvest a crop if I haven't planted something. Watering the field without planting does no good. Pulling the plant out before it's time to harvest it, I won't have the ripe vegetable or the ripe fruit. Everything has its time. Everything has its order. We must train the mind so that we see this, so that we are not overwhelmed by failing to see this. What did they tell her? They reminded her. Do you remember that experiment we did, Chloe? A couple weeks ago. That experiment we did where we asked you to bring some seeds out. And we put a rock, built that big fire, and we put the rock in the fire. Pulled the rock out, those tongs, put them aside, and laid the seeds on top of the rock. And then you remember the other pile of seeds that didn't have any heat applied to them, that were not on the rock? Yeah. What point are they trying to make? The seeds which had heat applied to them would not bloom. We planted them in a pot. We planted them at the same time as we planted the seeds in the other pot, the seeds that did not have the heat. And what happened? 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days after we planted, the seeds that did not have the heat applied to them were growing. The little plant, the little shoot was coming up. It was beautiful. You can see it now, it's big. But the seed that was put on the rock that was heated, nothing, nada, nothing. They were watered the same. They were in the same place in the sun. They were from the same source. One grew, one did not grow. What does that mean? It means that you must understand the nature of life, the order of things, the order of life. You must understand that if you apply heat to certain things, they will not grow. If you water the plant, it will grow. If you give it the right amount of water, it will grow. But spiritually, what does this mean to you and to me? It means you can say, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. I am the creator, I am the creator, I am the creator. And just because I will something, it's going to happen. I will it, so it will happen. And then nothing happens. Well, if you lock down your creativity because you're so emotional and so fear-filled, you lock everything in a box, if you will. You lock it up. There's no room. It's all confined. And it cannot grow. If I relax, I breathe, I let go of the fears of the future, the imagined future. I let go of the fears of the imagined past. All will be well. All is well. There's no problem. Learning to relax is one of the most important spiritual tasks in front of you. And I think really, truly, for most of you, there's a slight problem, and that is that you really have packed so much into your day. You're filling every single moment of the day. You're not giving yourself a chance to just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Let go of the fears. Let go of the fears. Have confidence and belief that those around you are your friends. Use your Aham Brahmasmi. You treat them as your friends and they will be your friends. Your ideas that are meaningful, that are galactic, that are important to you, treat them as your friends. Nourish them. Nurture them. Sustain them. And those which should not be nourished, well, maybe you put them in the fire. The fire of what? Maybe you put them in the fire of your tapas, your spiritual energy. That's why we have Kriya Yoga. You meditate, you chant, you breathe Kriya. Try the E mantra. Focus your attention to Sun Center. E. 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 Calm the mind, clear the mind, relax the mind. For when you're highly emotional, as Chloe was, when you're highly emotional and you're filled with fear, your crops don't grow. Nothing grows in the field. When you're highly emotional and you cannot see, you block out the sun with your thumb. when you fail to recognize that there is an order to the universe and see that this is the way of life, there is order. There is definitely order to this beautiful, beautiful universe. We're born. All that's manifest is born. It lives, it ages, and it ends that form of the incarnation. Now, for some of us on the earth, some of the beings on the earth, the life ends by shedding the old form and making a new form. For some of us, we shed the old form, and getting back here comes after a period of time. But you need to understand the order of the universe. Everything is created. You need to know how long it's going to take to create it. Use the intensity times duration factor that Sri Shelley G left us. How much spiritual energy are you going to put into something that will tell you how long it's going to take before it comes to fruition? And it doesn't matter. You're immortal. You can't get it today. It's okay. It will come tomorrow. It doesn't come tomorrow. It's okay. It will come in 5 years. It doesn't come in 5 years. It's okay. It will come in your next lifetime. If it is important to you, it will come. You will manifest it. Let go of the fear of others. Trust them. Trust that life is good, that everything you need is in this universe. And I'll tell you, I know that many of you, we've all had difficult times that are challenging. But in time, you will walk out of the forest and be in the sun, the sunlight of God, the sunlight of divine, the sunlight of the beauty of the universe. And you will see the sun and the moon, and they will be balanced. Your creativity will flow again. Everything must be in its order. The crops must be planted at the right time. They must be nourished at the right time. If I plant zucchini, I'm not going to get eggplant. If I plant eggplant, I won't get tomatoes. You must know what you're planting. And you know what you're planting by looking at the thoughts that you're thinking. What thoughts are you thinking? What are you trying to grow? Are you thinking the thoughts that will help you to grow that? You want to learn Norwegian. Well, are you studying Norwegian? Are you doing anything to grow that intent? Or are you just sitting back and eating bonbons, if you will? Are you practicing every day? Or are you off doing something else, gazing at the stars, being happy and gazing at the stars? Pay attention to what you're doing with your life. Pay attention, my beloved, and all will be well. Now, have confidence. Have confidence and relax. Have confidence and relax. And the more that you do this, the more that you will be comfortable in life and comfortable in the world. Now, I want to share with you a thought that is really, to me, has been one of the most transforming thoughts in Kriya Yoga. So often in life, if there's a problem, we blame it on the other. We say, well, Billy Joe, he's a real son of a gun. Or as Chloe said, our neighbors don't like us. The question is, don't blame it on the other. The important question is not, why do I have a problem with David? But rather, why is David having a problem with me? And allow the mind to relax. Allow your mind to see, and you will easily see, oh, I see. I see. He's having a problem with me because he thought I was rude. He's having a problem with me because I didn't greet his new woman friend properly. In fact, I didn't even rear at all. I didn't even nod hello. I was too absorbed, too self-absorbed to say hello. That's why he's having a problem with me. You must ask yourself this question whenever there's something difficult that comes into your life. And I use that word must pretty strongly. And it should say to you, since I don't use that very much, how vital and important it is that you are able to do this. But here's the issue. In order to ask yourself, why is Billy Joe having a problem with me? Why is David having a problem with me? Your mind must believe, your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind must truly believe that you wish to know the answer to that question. If you ask the question and keep up the chatter, you ask the question and your mind keeps going, well, there, blah, blah, so. Your mind's going to shut down and all of the wealth and knowledge that you have is cut off. If, on the other hand, you sit back and you say, well, now, I really like to know why David's having a problem. He's been pretty grouchy. Why is he grouchy to me? And free associate, allow your mind to wander, allow your mind to say, well, let me reflect. What was the last couple of times we've been together? Did I say something? Did I do something? Did I forget to do something? What happened? What did I fail to do is the first question. Or what did I do carelessly is the second, the reverse side of that. And then say, oh, I see. And the answer will arise. The answer will come of its own accord and you will have no problem. You will see. And then you can change your thinking. This is the aham brahmasmi. You are the creative principle. You can change your thinking. You could do something to change your state of consciousness. And thus your relationship with the other will be changed. So what have I tried to say? I have tried to say you must do something, my beloved, to build a more easy lifestyle, a more relaxed lifestyle, something where you have taken action to stop the running and ranting and raving in your life. Take action to stop the crazy chaos of the mind. You don't want violence coming into your life. Don't feed violence. You don't want anger coming into your life. Don't feed anger. You don't want confusion coming into your life. Don't feed confusion. Now, as we go into the next part of our meditation, Akilananda will be joining us, and she will share some brief thoughts on a practice that you can incorporate into your life that will take the thumb out of your eye and allow you to see life, allow you to see the beautiful flowers, allow you to see the beautiful roses, the beautiful trees, the anemones that are out, the grasses that are out. Allow you to see the stars at night with the sky as clear as could be. And she will share this practice with you and then lead you in a meditation. She will talk and share with you a practice that is, to me, very nurturing, very easy, but very, very nurturing. And so as always, I thank you for the blessing of your presence here today. I thank Akhilananda for helping today, for making this possible. And I would like to close with a thought that my father shared with me. And it's a beautiful, meaningful thought. And we're honoring my father's life this weekend, honoring his incarnation. Very, very good man, my dad. A few years back, he had a health incident. And for a while, everything was double, seeing double. All of his eyes were double. His sight was double. My husband said to him in front of me, "Well, Dad, I think that it must be really, really hard. You must be having a hard time adjusting." Well, I learned a long time ago there's some things in life that I have to accept. That there's sometimes I have to just say, well, for this life, for the rest of this life, that's just the way it's going to be. Not forever, not for always, but for right now, it's the way it's going to be. And I must adjust to life's changes. And we have that beautiful Kriya saying, adjust, adapt, acclimatize, and rest. And one thing that I would say in my dad's honor is that it's one thing to say that, well, it had to adjust, but it's another thing for the vibration to be there saying, I learned that some things I must accept. And so what is it when we decide, oh yes, I can keep my equanimity. I can keep my happiness. I can keep my joy. And rather than fighting the changes of life, say, well, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is at this time. Now, it doesn't mean you don't work to make things more harmonious, to make things more ease-filled. It does mean that you can say, all right, I'm not going to become emotional about this. I'm not going to become angry about this. I'm going to say, well, I'm going to adjust. I'm going to accept that right now, at this time, it's the way it's going to be. I thank you for joining me today, for joining us today. As always, I thank you so much for the blessing of your presence. It is for me a great joy to share this time with you, to feel your vibration, to feel your meditative energy, to know that together we are coming and turning inward. And together we are coming and sending our energies, lifting them. And as we lift our energies, my beloved, the energies of all of life are lifted. Now let us turn to Akhilananda and joining our meditation with her. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Pranananda, for that beautiful teaching. My name is Akhilananda. I am a long-term disciple of Swami Pranananda's, and I'm so grateful to be with you all today. One way that we can gain confidence and nourish the gardens of our minds is by bringing a gratitude practice into our daily awareness so that we are understanding consciously the energy forces that we are creating with our thoughts. Gratitude practice will also help us to soften the karma of our everyday lives and aid us in relaxing the mind so that we can really see things as they truly are, rather than the way that we would wish them or will them to be. Now you might ask, what is a gratitude practice? Simply put, gratitude is the act of just saying thank you, or merci, or grazie, or arigato. That's right, there is no great spiritual secret. There is no rule book. One simply needs to offer heartfelt thanks to that which the mind rests upon. A perfect example of gratitude is a poem entitled Why I Wake Early by one of my favorite poets, Mary Oliver. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who make the morning. Hello, you who make the morning and spread it over the fields and into the faces of the tulips and the nodding morning glories, and into the windows of even the miserable and crotchety, and into the windows of even the miserable and crotchety. Best preacher that ever was, dear star that just happens to be where you are in the universe, to keep us from ever darkness, to ease us with warm touching, to hold us in great hands of light, to hold us in great hands of light. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Watch now how I start the day in happiness, in kindness. Watch now how I start the day in happiness, in kindness. What an inspiring poem to begin our day by offering gratitude to the beauty that surrounds us, to the life force that is the sun that makes existence on this planet possible. And more importantly, her last line of that poem, to start the day in happiness and kindness. What a gem of wisdom this is, to be able to say thank you to an infinite number of things and beings that make our lives possible. This state of consciousness that awakens a kinder and happier and more loving outlook towards others, and also so too for ourselves. As above, so below, and as within, so without. One of the blessings of a gratitude practice is that when we look at life from a heart-centered place, that place where we step out of our minds and our everyday consciousness and we allow ourselves to come into a deeper feeling sense, that sense of loving and stepping into ourselves and into the day to a happier and kinder state of awareness or garden that we have created in our own mind. And how beautiful it is to be grateful and to remember all of the things that support us. When we take time to appreciate that which is supporting us along the way, it becomes easier for us to appreciate and love each other, of course, but also ourselves. The gratitude practice can really open doorways, especially in these times of COVID, where we're so isolated, that it's so beautiful to remember to be grateful for each other and all these things that are supporting all of us, so that now that we get to be out and about, we can really greet each other with full-heartedness and kindness. Gratitude practice also really, it allows us to come back to center, to come back to our present, the present moment. So you might be asking, well, what does a gratitude practice look like? Perhaps, like me, you have the good fortune to live near the woods. And you maybe can imagine yourself right now walking on a path in the forest. And perhaps you come across some big, beautiful old growth cedar tree. And to be present and look at this gorgeous being and offer gratitude for its resilience to stand for decades or possibly even centuries, to also have this beautiful linked and reciprocal relationship with us, where we breathe in oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide, and the trees breathe in the carbon dioxide and exhale the oxygen, that we need each other. There is this symbiotic relationship. Maybe you look up into the trees or into the sky, and if you're a bird lover, you see a beautiful mountain blue jay, or you see a cardinal, or maybe an eagle or an owl, and we get to look at these beings with gratitude for maybe their beauty of flight, or maybe it's their beautiful and varied song that inspires us. This idea of offering gratitude for those things that surround us and support our lives are, really how we find greater love for ourselves and each other. And, maybe it's not something as sort of esoteric as offering gratitude to the trees. Maybe it's the simple things, such as writing on a piece of paper and saying that you're thankful for the tree that gave its life so that you could write in your journal or read a book or pick up a newspaper. Or again, to look towards the sun, that beautiful being that offers light so that the food on the planet can grow and we can nourish our bodies. There are an infinite number of things to be grateful for. And when we rest in a place of gratitude for all that is around us, it's easier to become more present and connected to all of life, into our hearts and to the deeper places in our soul, instead of being all caught up in our minds, the mind stuff, the chitta as it is. And then we remember that this practice of gratitude really connects us and reminds us that we are a part of life. We are not apart from life. So I would ask you, what moves your soul in this way? It's the first thing that comes to your mind. What allows you to say thank you? Maybe once, or maybe over and over again throughout the day, throughout the week. Is it your art? Maybe you love to dance, or to cook, or to sing. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's yoga. The best part about this is that there are only correct answers. There are an infinite number of things for us to be grateful for in every moment. And when we connect to the gratitudes, our hearts become open and joy-filled with the privilege of living here on earth and together as a community. So what would happen if you began a sadhana, a spiritual practice of saying thank you from a heart-centered place every day? Nothing grandiose, not a big deal, just once a day to say thank you for something that you know supports you in your life. How might this seemingly small action change the entire trajectory of your life? Change your vibration and your aura as you connect with other beings. By planting thoughts and practices based in gratitude, we become Aham Brahmasmi. We become the creator of our lives. And we intentionally plant that, which grows in this lifetime and also into the lifetimes in the future. I thank you so much for sharing this time with me and with Pranananda. I'm so grateful for your energy. And at this time, I would invite you to join us in a meditation. You are welcome to focus your attention at your sun center, or you can focus your attention on the altar. So focusing your attention at the sun center or on the altar, whichever you prefer. Turn your head to the left with a double exhalation. Bring your head back to the center. Just begin to watch your breath. Just allowing the breath to breathe itself. Allowing your mind and your body to relax. Using the sipping breath, draw the energy from the limbs of the body into the trunk of the body. Again, using the sipping breath, draw the energy from the trunk of the body into the spine. Using the sipping breath, draw the energy from the base of the spine up to the sun center. Imagining a golden light coming out from the sun center, drawing in front of you to the left, around the back of you, to the right, above you and below you, encasing yourself in a golden ball of light. And do this 2 more times. Drawing the energy up from the spine, bringing the golden light out in front of you, encasing yourself in golden light. Expand this golden light and begin to ascend, ascending out of the room that you are in, up above where you live, up above the earth, allowing yourself to ascend as high as you are able into the grove of the meditators. Now in your mind's eye, you see a path. Step onto this path and begin your journey. As you walk through the path, noticing the things around you, you find yourself in a field, beautiful field. As you gently walk through the field, you notice the things around you, being grateful for all the beauty that surrounds you. Continue to walk up the path, ascending with ease up the side of a mountain. As you ascend the mountain, you see a grove. It's beautiful. It's the perfect place to rest. And as you walk into the grove, you see a shrine. It's filled with healing light. Walk into the shrine. In the shrine of healing light, you notice that there is a pool of healing light and a waterfall. Step into the pool. The water is just how you like it. And as you walk through the pool towards the waterfall, your clothes begin to dissolve away. Allow yourself to enter into the waterfall of healing light, allowing the healing light to pour down over your crown center, washing over you to clean your aura, and washing through you to heal and vivify every cell of your being. The beautiful healing light of the waterfall washes away anything you don't need. Dissolve away. Allowing yourself to be present, to be in a heart space as the healing water washes over you, washes through you. And when you're ready, allow yourself to step out of the healing light. We turn and we offer gratitude to this beautiful and powerful waterfall of light. We thank it for washing away the karma and that which is not needed at this time. As you begin to walk out of the pool of healing light, you notice that you have beautiful new clothes on. Walking through the shrine, giving gratitude for this place and knowing that it is always here for you. You are welcome to come back at any time. Ever so gently, allow yourself to walk or maybe even float several inches off the ground down the mountain. Coming back to the field and the original path. Finding yourself back in your space. And when you're ready, can open your eyes, come back to a place of awareness, of greater health, of greater vitality. Namaste, and thank you. From Pranananda and I'm so grateful to have shared this time with you. Thank you so much for your meditative energies and for being here today. I hope that you found the teachings meaningful, and I hope that you have a beautiful Sunday. Namaste. Namaskar.